Is there such a thing as a non-working vacation?
It's a good idea if you're going to do this full time and you are established in this industry to go that extra level, in my opinion. So,
yeah, with more agents comes more issues, right? I mean, not necessarily bad issues, just more things. And so
this is a mo money, mo problem situation.
yeah.
Well, how many transactions is too many? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure. Like, as long as the system is working and there's not any problems, I'll keep going. And then once there's a problem with volume, I'll have to figure
then you'll have to figure it out.
what that next step is.
Surely your family and friends cross over. So who takes Aunt Susie? Like, how do you decide? Hi, everyone. It's episode 248.
Okay.
We're celebrating the mother-daughters today with Mother's Day on the way. And we have Laurie and Chelsea here. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell us about their business.
Yeah. How did y'all come to work together?
We'll let them do like a full introduction. Where you are, who
everything.
you are. Give me the whole thing.
So I'm Laurie Beischel, and I'm co-owner of Locality Real Estate.
And I'm Chelsea McDonnell, also co-owner and here in Phoenix. So, yeah.
And is it just y'all two that are the owners?
It is. We are business partners, 50-50 business partners. Yep.
And when did that come to be?
So the brokerage started in October of 2020, so close to 4 years ago. Yeah.
And how many agents do you have in your brokerage?
Yeah, so we've actually organically grown to about 70 agents, which has been pretty amazing to see the growth over the last few years. So just about 70, maybe a few more here soon. But yeah, just about 70 right now.
That's a lot. So before y'all started this team in this company in 2020, how long were y'all in real estate?
So I've been in real estate, gosh, I want to say over 20, 25 plus years-ish. I have been in sales. I've been in management. I've ownership and all the things in real estate. So
you also forget you were an appraiser.
Oh, I forget. Yeah,
that's where her roots started.
Yes, I always forget that.
When you were like 18 or something.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't that young, but yeah,
I
was.
Wow.
I appraised real estate for 15 years as well. Yep.
That's a great skill set to have going into being in real estate. You know, my dad's an appraiser.
Oh, cool.
And we actually had him on the show. It's been a minute since he's been on the show, but early on we had him come in to just talk all about appraisals. I had my appraiser license for about a year, and it just wasn't my thing. I just didn't care for it. And then my younger sister came to me and asked if it would upset me if she got her appraiser's license. And I was like, no, this is like beautiful. So now they are both appraisers together.
That's
so
awesome.
It's fun.
I have a question for Chelsea.
Sure.
Were you in real estate before Locality? Like, were you selling real estate? Were you both in the same office?
So great question. I've essentially grown up with real estate, right? So naturally, when I was at ASU going to school, I got my license back in 2011. So I've been licensed almost 13 years come in July. And so the intent was for me to get my license, start working with my mom, who was in sales at the time. She ended up going into more of a management role, like broker type role. And I was only 21, not really sure that real estate was for me at the time. So I didn't really take it all that seriously, I'd say. We also had a family restaurant that I was helping to manage and work at the time. So I had a lot going on. A few years later, I eventually went into a few different roles within real estate. So I worked operations at a brokerage that my mom was part owner of. I worked on a team here locally, and then I also worked in like title and escrow for a while. So I've kind of had a few different roles in real estate.
Yeah, and I think that's super helpful to understand all those different aspects of it, only to then go on and open your own company because you know the back end of all these things.
When you opened the company, did you sit down and say, okay, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this. This is our plan. Or did you just kind of like wing it? Tell me about like how it's set up. Hey friend, if you're an Email Templates 101 owner, be sure to log in and check out the 2024 updates and brand new templates in your course.
You'll find a new active listing seller check-in template as well as a new offer delivery template for your sellers, plus lots of fine-tuning to the other existing templates.
Don't have Email Templates 101 yet? Grab yours now at hustlehumblypodcast.com/courses.
So I think we naturally know our strengths, right? Like where we're good. I am not good at spreadsheets. I will just give her all the spreadsheets all day.
I love spreadsheets.
She loves it. So, operations, things like that, back office, marketing, branding, because her degree is in marketing. That's not my thing. She doesn't even let me touch that. So that's okay. I know my limits.
But you're so good at Instagram and doing your videos.
Yeah, you are. She can't do that for you. You're in the video.
Yeah, you're great at videos.
Thank you. I'm coachable. I'm learning, and she's taught me a lot. I've come a long way. So I stick more with the compliance, the training, education, things like that. So we just naturally knew what our roles would be.
When you get a new agent, do you interview them together?
For the most, I would say almost 100% of the time, yes. We coordinate our schedules so that we can bring them into the office and meet them, which is kind of unique because I feel like not always does that happen where a broker's like, oh, I want to meet you in person. We actually get a lot of agents that we talk to that are like, I've never met my broker in person. So for us, I know it actually is a common thing here. And so, it's important to us to come together and meet these agents that we're potentially bringing on to the brokerage. So,
yeah, and it's good just to know, like, if we're like-minded, right? Like, if you can ask.
You're not just taking warm bodies. You want fits for your office.
Correct. We're not about numbers by any means. We want the right people on the bus for sure. And just know that, you just know when you meet them, whether it's going to be a good fit or not. So,
do you have a cap? Like I have seen, 70 is a pretty big brokerage at this point. Like, is there a limit to how many agents you're going to take and then you'll kind of like slow it down? Or is it already more than you thought it would be? I'm just curious about like that plan.
So we've never had a number. People ask us that a lot. Like, how many do you hope to have? Or what is your number? And we've never had a number. And I know that sounds kind of crazy. We just, again, want just to be surrounded with like-minded in terms of, everyone wanting to be doing it right and doing it for the right reasons. But I mean, we do have goals where that's concerned in terms of like, how many a year or that kind
quarterly.
Of thing. Yeah. But we just, it's not as important to us.
Like set in stone, we have to have 100 by, that's not our goal. So,
and I think that's consistent too with like when people are like, well, how many transactions is too many? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure. Like as long as the system is working and there's not any problems, I'll keep going. And then once there's a problem with volume, I'll have to figure
it out
what that next step is.
And we kind of can feel that because it's just us. Like we are it for everything with the brokerage, right? So we're coordinating trainings and education pieces, and I'm doing commission authorizations and onboarding. And so like there's a lot of moving parts, but for right now it's working in terms of, us doing those roles right now. So
yeah, with more agents comes more issues, right? I mean, not necessarily bad issues, just more things. And so
this is a mo money, mo problem situation.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay. Tell me how you handle being mother-daughter though. Like I know of this one sweet mother-daughter team that the daughter calls her mother by her first name, not mom. You know what I mean? Like, how do you handle logistically working as a mother-daughter, especially in like a powerful position in your office where you're both kind of almost seen as equals, right? Like, how does that go?
It's not challenging. It's just, at times I catch myself, like I'm like, oh, hey, let me reach out to my mom. Like with agents, I'm more casual, but of course, like in more professional settings, I refer to her as Laurie, which is often very
awkward.
But it's gotten actually easier because my mom got recently remarried last year, so we don't share the same last name anymore. So it's not necessarily a given. And so we actually brought in an agent last week, and we're like, oh, by the way, we're mother-daughter. They're like, oh. So before it was kind of just like, oh, you must be related or family. But now, I'd say it's a little bit more like, easier in that regard.
All right. But what are the tips for working with family? Do you find that ever strains your personal relationship? How
do you shut it off at the dinner table? Like, without always just going there?
I mean, I think we're on purpose with that, right? Like, so there are times when we both like just had enough, days, we all have those where we're like, we just need to not talk about real estate or the brokerage or whatever. And we can shut it off and just still like, hey, let's go shopping. Let's, we just do other things. We talk about other things. And I think we're really good at protecting that. Mm-hmm. We have to have boundaries there. Otherwise it's all work all the time. And that's just not healthy.
And we also bring things outside of the office, because I find that like a lot of times we get so caught up in like, we're not creative and we're not like, it's just not working sometimes in the office. So we'll go to a coffee shop. Like last week we met at a local coffee shop and brainstormed for 2 hours, and it just worked. We've also made, hey, we're going to block an afternoon and go to a spring training game just because we can and we need a break.
Yeah.
So I think we're really good at doing that. So
yeah, and like last summer we had a business planning session, but we happened to stay at a really nice resort overnight. Yeah. So we got a really nice dinner. We did a little shopping, but also business planning. So we just made time for both. So it was really
like
fun.
It's fun to let it cross over, right? Like you're enjoying it no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
will
nice.
catch myself though a few times where I start getting in the weeds of like certain things. I'm like, it can wait till tomorrow. Like, why am I bringing this up to right now? Mm-hmm. And so I do find myself sometimes like, oh yeah, that can probably wait. We should probably talk about that later. So
it's good that you're aware though, and you're monitoring like, can it wait, or is it okay to talk about? One of my girlfriends texted me. She's a realtor close by, but not in our market. She's like 2 hours away. But she said, I have been so burnt out lately and I'm so busy and I really need a vacation away from my kids, but I also need to work. Like, would you be interested in going to the beach and like bringing our laptops and it being okay for us to answer our phone when it rings, like a working vacation? And I was like, yes, that sounds amazing. Like sometimes I want to shut it off completely, and sometimes I'm okay with, that this is the rules for this. You're allowed to answer your phone, and it's still fun. We're just in a different place.
Yeah. And
That's
I didn't know is there such a thing as a non-working vacation?
Not much. Do both of you sell? Do both of you actually sell?
Yes, I still actively sell, but it's more sphere-based. My friends, family, people.
But Laurie, you're not. Laurie, are you listing and doing buyers or
a little bit? I don't do a lot, and my first priority is our agents and making sure they're taken care of. But yes, is there family and friends that I absolutely work with, because that's just what we do. We do, and so Chelsea does a little bit more than I do, but pretty much limited to family and friends. Yeah.
Okay, well that was my question. Surely your family and friends cross over. So who takes Aunt Susie? Like how do you decide?
I think they naturally will just reach out to one of us, and then
really,
just based on like what we're posting or who like you're friends with, family that I'm not necessarily whoever that might be. Yeah. And so they'll reach out to one of us, and then if it's timing wise works out, I'll go with Laurie to the listing appointment or whatever that is. But we pretty much tag team most transactions that we're working anyway. So
yeah, we team up on most things and cover for each other and what have you, regardless. So it just works. Yeah. Either way.
Can you take vacation together?
We did last year when I got married. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Just like office is closed. We're out.
Who ran things for you?
So we have some great folks here that have worked with us from the beginning, and they helped cover for us. Obviously, we're always available still. Yeah. In fact, she's like, wait, what time is the wedding? Because I won't call you.
Oh my God.
So any other time is okay. But that was the time when she's like, I won't call you then. But no, I mean, we were lucky. We were very fortunate to have that time as a family to get away and do that. So
I was going to add too, I think as broker owners, it's really important that we're still actively involved in transactions. I can feel for our agents. I know what they're going through. And so I think, that's a big part of selling. Like we just have to actively see what the market's doing so we can educate and guide our agents through what's going on. So that's the main reason too why we're still actively selling with our clients. So
yeah, and I would think on that. I've done both sides. So I've been a broker of the largest in the state of Arizona, with thousands and thousands of agents that I was responsible for, and there was no chance of being able to do real estate. And so getting out to be able to do a little bit of that and be in the trenches with our agents is really valuable, especially with all the things coming. It helps for them to know that we're dealing with it just like you are.
Okay, I'm so glad that you brought that up. So you have a sweet agent named Haley who sent me a delightful message about how much she loved you. And she is the one who told me that Laurie is the best at keeping agents informed and ahead of changes. So kind of tell us how you do that. I mean, it makes sense that you're out in the field actually selling, so you see things, but like, how do you stay ahead of changes?
So I'm actively involved in the industry. I serve as the chair of the largest MLS in the state of Arizona with over 44,000 members. So very much plugged into what is going on in terms of the world of MLS, locally and nationally. I'm also on the board of directors of our state association, our local association, and all the things. And so our agents are very well informed based on all of the volunteering that I do in the industry.
We met them at the NAR conference.
Yeah, you do all the conferences, right? Yeah.
So we got to meet them in person.
Yeah, I still have my cactus pen from Arizona.
We're like, what about that mother-daughter?
Yeah, she brought her pen.
There's the
love
pen.
it.
I know, we were like, that cute mother-daughter team that
They had
gave
the
us the
pens.
cactus pens. So cute.
We gave them out to our agents. They were a huge hit. They loved them.
They're precious, but see, I feel like that's what you're getting right. I feel like you have personality. It comes through in your branding. It comes through in your social media. It feels like it is. Do you feel like the brokerage is a really good reflection of who you both are?
I would say so.
Yeah. I think, and we've worked really hard to sort of, I hate to say protect it, but because sometimes
you should.
Different directions, but we've been, every now and then we're like, wait, that's not where we're going. We got to bring it back. So yeah, we are very much on purpose, I would say, with that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. Okay, so Haley also said that Chelsea had her strengths.
Oh.
And she said that you are the positive influence. You're the cheerleader. Like you're getting everyone hyped up. So tell us a little bit about like how do you do that? Where does that come from? Have you always been like a positive person? Or do you enjoy that part of your job?
I do. I love promoting what our agents are doing because they're doing amazing things in our industry. Like, for example, Haley, they are like focusing on the shaberhood, and they are owning their neighborhood that they're working in. And it's so fun to like promote it on social. We love showing up for them, for our agents. So we will pop into their open houses and kind of surprise them. We've even brought like their favorite Starbucks drink when they are out working in the field. And what else have we done? We will share their things that they're doing on social media.
But I'll just say she is like super thoughtful and always thinking of others. And she's just amazing in that regard. She's far better at it than I am. And so it's awesome that she does what she does.
That's really nice. And it seems like your brokerage is very new, but I would assume that your turn is pretty low, like for people jumping to another brokerage.
Well, like, how would you leave them?
Right. Why would you leave that?
They're so sweet.
And thoughtful and like that sounds like the type you can find your broker. They're going to pop into your open house.
Yeah, that's cool.
And for an office of 70 agents, it's not exactly easy to do.
No. But she's coming from thousands.
Yeah, that's true.
So
she's probably like, this is a breeze.
Yeah, this is nothing.
I can handle this.
This is great, actually.
Okay, so do you ever have conflict between the two of you? Like, how do you handle that?
I would say surprisingly, we really don't have that much conflict, and I know you're probably like, really? But I mean, a few things will come up, and I feel like we just are open about, hey, the task that you were supposed to do, did you do that? And like today, she reminded me of what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so just being open about it and just communicating to each other, like, okay, you need to stay focused and get what we need to get done. But surprisingly, we don't have that much conflict.
Yeah, we don't really. And I think that sometimes because we're in this office together a lot, sometimes we're like, you know what, I'm just working from home today. I need my time, and we're still we're doing our work, but sometimes we just need to have our own little space and time. And
yeah, like one day I'll do an office day and I'll come in and work and do my thing, and then she'll stay at home, and it works out really well. So we have that own time together.
You don't have to be together all the time.
Correct. Yeah.
It's actually helpful that there's two of you so that you can divide and conquer and have that time apart.
For sure.
Yeah, that's nice. Are there other siblings in your family, Chelsea? Or do you get all of them?
Younger brother. So Yes.
And
Any interest in real estate?
yeah, is he in the business?
So here's the thing. During COVID, I'm like, hey, you might want to get your real estate license. I'll even pay for it. He had no interest.
No.
What does he do? What is his?
He's in school.
Yeah.
He's still in
Oh.
school. Yeah, he's
Okay.
in college and trying to decide what he's going to do. But right now, it's not real estate.
That
Feels like it might be. That
Well,
might
and
change.
Chelsea, that was kind of you, like, so I also started in 2011. I had just finished college and wasn't loving some of the corporate interviews I was going on, decided to try some appraisal stuff with my dad, ended up getting licensed. But you said, like, you know, you got licensed, but you weren't sure what your long-term goal was. At what point were you like, this is what I want to do for my career?
I think when we just decided we wanted to team up together, it was kind of like, okay, if you're going to keep your license active, like, are you really going to do it? And so I think that was kind of a turning point because I got my broker's license. And, you know, that was kind of a big deal to go to that next level. Here in Arizona, you can be a salesperson or a broker. So I got my broker's license. I'm like, okay, we're doing this. And so I just, you know, committed. I'm like, if we're going to open up a brokerage, I got to do this full time. So
Is it so? One of you is the designated. So here it's the same. You're a salesperson or you're a broker, and if every office has a designated broker, is one of you the designated broker?
Hey there, are you looking for ways to save time and money in your business?
Email Templates 101 is the communication system you need to bring ease and efficiency to managing your transactions and clients.
Save time and avoid mistakes, all while providing a high level of service for your buyers and sellers.
In Email Templates 101, you'll get 13 downloadable buyer templates ready for your personal touches.
And 19 downloadable seller templates, plus 6 attachment checklist.
Head over to hustlehumblypodcast.com/courses to get yours today.
That would be me.
Okay.
Well, you have the experience and the years behind you of all of those different companies. So
Absolutely.
I think that's perfect.
But Chelsea, why was it important for you to get your broker's license then? You didn't really have to, right?
well, I did so that I could open the entity for the brokerage.
We weren't quite working together yet, so she got that going. Well,
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
I love it.
Logistics.
But I also think
Logistics.
it's a good idea if you're
Yeah.
going to do this full time and you are established in this industry to go that extra level, in my opinion. So
And you're positioning yourself as an owner broker. you know?
Right.
So
No, I think it's a great idea. I am a big fan of a boutique firm. I work at a boutique firm. I love an independent firm. I came from 14 years at Remax, so no, I loved it there too. But were you afraid to go from a bigger environment and to have your own smaller office? Like, were you worried about branding or like people not knowing what you were when you made up your own? Like, this is a new thing, right? Like, were you worried?
Well, I'll say that. So before I went to work for the large company I mentioned, I was an owner broker before that of a 200 agent office. And so it was a big shift for me going into a very large scale brokerage. And so in as much as it was a wonderful experience, I was kind of wanting to get back to a smaller company again. And so that's sort of how it just worked that way. And then we started talking about branding and all the things. But no, I don't think we had any concerns in terms of, we just went with it.
you're excited and just kind of went full speed.
I
again,
love
so
that.
positive and
love-
uplifting.
Because I think a lot of people get stuck thinking they can't do it on their own, or like it's going to be too hard, or I need the backing of a big franchise name, or whatever they're telling themselves. And I feel like they miss out because being your own broker, I think, is really nice and gives you an opportunity to grow, especially people who grow a big team. Why wouldn't you just do that under your own name? Like, I still don't understand
I know.
the draw of not taking it out on your own. So
If you're going to have that many people, you know, that you're working with.
Sure.
right, just do you enjoy managing people? Because that's really what you got to do when you go out on your own like that.
Yeah. It's a big responsibility for sure. And
Yeah.
it's not every day is easy. I will tell you that. I mean, there's some challenges, right? Just getting started and just all the things. But I think we're really proud of what we've built. And it's really like, even today when if I drive a neighborhood and there's one of our signs, like it is like the coolest feeling. I can't even describe it. So
Yeah.
You're like proud parents, right, of your agents. You're like, you did it.
Yeah,
Good job. You did.
So motherly.
I love that.
So sweet.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what you see in the future for the business. Do you have any thoughts about the future?
Obviously we are in a point in time where we are shifting and some changes are coming. I think it's all going to be fine. I think that, there are forms and things that are going to be provided to agents all over the country to get them where they need to be. But the most important thing I think for agents out there is to just be ready to show your value and be able to articulate that. And that for me, I think is the biggest struggle for agents right now, because as buyer's agents, those changes are going to be pretty significant. And if you're not confident and you're not able to present that, it's going to be more challenging than ever before.
And I will say, we've been talking about these upcoming changes for over a year at this point with our brokerage, because Laurie's been so plugged in. And so our agents are like, oh yeah, that lawsuit. We know about that. And we're moving full speed ahead. So just make sure they're prepared and whatnot. So
they're like, this is old news. We can handle this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were ready. They've been ready. So it's encouraging from our perspective. I just worry somewhat about the industry in terms of what that looks like. I'm not so much concerned about we're ready. We're going to be ready to go. But it's just, national.
Right. It's just so much transition, and you can only control what's under your roof, right? So it's just so hard. It kind of feels like you're just being drug along in some ways. I'm like trying to stay out of the local Facebook group. We have it makes me very nervous.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I told Chelsea, like right when the news came out, I decided to choose to snooze. So I was snoozing all the groups because it was all the negative, the doom and gloom, the sky's falling, all the things. And I'm like, snooze, 30 days.
Yeah.
I didn't miss any of it. So
are you back in it? I'm like still snoozing, I feel like.
I'm snooze it again, because I just realized, I said it to her. I'm like, I guess my snooze is over, because it's all back in my feed.
That's all you hear.
Connie, my broker, you remind me of her a lot in how well you stay informed, and you go to these, you take the time to go to these meetings and learn about all these things, where many brokers would say, well, that's not income producing. Like, I don't want to do those things, but it's so important. But Connie was actually like telling us at our Monday morning meeting, like, I don't want to hear or see any of y'all commenting in these Facebook groups. She's like, I don't want y'all to be the ones, so-and-so with that office said this. Like, you can go read and do what you want. I don't even want you doing that, but I can't stop you. But I don't want any of y'all commenting in there. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, Mama Connie.
I don't blame her, because I would feel the same way, for sure.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, it's so fun, and when you open your own brokerage, you get to start your new Instagram and get cute pens and colors and things like that. But then it's like, what do you do when your agent is like posting crazy political rants on Facebook?
Yeah, you got to keep these people under control.
Yeah, they're representing you now. So how do you handle not just conflict like amongst yourselves, but within your office as representing you?
So I'll say that we have been very blessed that we haven't had any issues, that our agents, we haven't had those problems. But I also will say that I'm not afraid to have those tough conversations and tell them that that's not a good fit for what we stand for. And, you never take that hat off, right? As a realtor, as an agent for Locality Real Estate. And so, tough conversations sometimes that maybe you want to not be posting those things.
Your interview process, though, is probably helping you avoid that, right? Like, how much time do you spend with a new agent when you interview? Is it just like a lunch, an hour? Or they come in the office? Like, how do you research an agent? Will you give me the inner workings?
Yeah.
Well, typically they reach out to us. So they'll say, hey, one of your agents told me I should reach out to you, or, hey, I saw you on social. We recently had someone that was Googling independent brokerages in Chandler, Arizona, and reached out to us. And he actually spoke with several brokerages and was like, no, I want to work with you guys. So that initial contact, and then either we'll bring them into the office if that makes sense for, timing and scheduling purposes. And then, it's about 30, 45 minutes. It just depends on how deep we go with, getting to know them at that point.
Yeah.
So,
I like that.
Me too.
Okay, let's do a marketing question. Chelsea.
Okay. Yes.
Or Laurie, because Laurie, the videos are so good.
So good.
Do you get a lot of agents off of social media, buyer sellers off of social media? Like, what comes of that?
I would say we get both, honestly. I think it's from consistency. They follow our business page as well as us personally, and then we follow them back and interact with them. But I think that they can just get a really good feel for who we are and what we do and what our brokerage is like, as though they would know us. By the time we meet them, they're going to know what we're all about.
Yeah. And our agents see what we're doing, and then they're like, oh, it works. And so they are encouraged to post on social and be active. So that's been really fun to see our agents really kind of bring their personality to social media too. So.
That's really true.
Leading by example.
Yes.
They're like, look how good this looks.
Right. They're like, if they can do it, I can do it.
Exactly.
So can I give you an example? We sort of off the cuff, I'm like, we're going to do a little challenge. We're going to do a 30-day Reels challenge with no planning. And we did it. And our agents, they're like, oh my gosh, I have people reaching out to me. I have people reaching out to me that haven't reached out to me in a super, super long time. So that's cool, right?
I like that.
Yes.
That's also really nice if for any of the brokers listening. I think that just giving people the opportunity to find business in that way, like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Like, you know, in your mind it's going to work, but you're like, just come along. We're going to do the challenge, and then they're going to see it work. It's different than being like, hey, go to this class about social media. Some guru's going to tell you what you need to do. You're like, we're all going to do it together. And then once everyone sees what's going to happen, then they'll stick with it, right?
Yeah. And I also think in a model today where everyone is obsessed with leads, you know, and they just want leads handed to them, whereas you're actually showing them steps on how to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, just to tie it all back to like motherhood.
Yeah.
It's like, if you always make the sandwich, they don't know how to make their own sandwich.
Right.
You know, they're giving them and equipping them with the tools they need to leave the nest.
Right.
Not that they're going to leave the nest.
But get your own leads.
Yeah, you can get your own business through the tools that we are giving you.
Yeah, I like that.
Exactly.
Is there anything you'd like to share for other family that are working together? Maybe not necessarily owning a brokerage, but if they're on a team together, or they work in the same office, or they're trying to both get started at the same time. Do you have any advice?
I would just say have open communication. You know, if you need help with something, or you know, whatever that looks like for you guys, just communication goes a long ways. And so I find that most issues derive from that. So just being open with each other. We share calendars with each other, emails, so we're always plugged in and know what's going on. So no one really feels left out or not a decision maker. So that's been really important for us.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. Look at you.
That's pretty impressive. I must say, I assume, I don't know, but Laurie, for you to have like a mother role, right? You're the mom, and then your daughter to feel like she's an equal, you had to have done it right. Do you know because you would just by nature fall back into the role of mom, daughter, you know, but you seem very much like you have navigated successfully that we're a team, we're doing this together, we're co-owners. It's very nice.
What was Chelsea like as a child?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
She asked my dad that when we have my dad on. She asked him that. So
I sure did.
I'm going to ask you, what was Chelsea like as a child?
So Chelsea is obviously the oldest, right? And Chelsea is perfection. She wants everything perfect. So we have this conversation a lot about, you know, done is better than perfect now, right? Let's just get it done. I would call Chelsea an overachiever, maybe.
It's an oldest child thing. It's not our fault.
It's not our fault.
And she just wants to make people happy, and she's a little bit of a people pleaser, and that's not a bad thing either.
No.
No, she's a great kid when she was little.
I love that. So
well, you're
great.
in the right industry for that personality type.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners?
I want to thank you guys both for this opportunity.
Oh my
First and
gosh.
foremost, we think you're amazing, by the way. And I love what you're sharing and the things you guys do. And I only learned of it because of Chelsea. And I just really enjoy following you, and I enjoy your podcast. So thank you for all that you guys are doing.
And
Yes,
then how
thank
cool
you.
that we got to meet in person.
I know.
Yes, even better.
That's how you become a real person to Alyssa.
You're not real till I meet you in person.
She has to see
In real
you
life.
In real life. Yeah.
Yeah, in real life.
In real life must be done. Okay, did you bring a toast? Do you know that we toast at the end of every? Okay, talk them through it.
Okay, so at the end of every episode, we let our guest toast to someone if we have a guest, a shout out to someone who got them to where they are today or has been a huge help in their business, a mentor or friend.
Or someone's success story you'd like to
That you would like
toast
to
to.
just give a little toast to, and y'all could each do your own if you would like.
or you can confirm.
I'll just
them
do
as well.
mine to my lovely mother next to me. I mean, it seems most appropriate. I'm lucky I get to work with my best friend every day. So
Yeah, look at
I'm
that.
so all choked up. So thanks a lot. No, but she's really been an integral part of my success in this industry. She's so knowledgeable and just always willing to just be there for me. So thanks, Mom.
Well, thank
I love you.
So sweet.
And I don't know, I have so many mentors I can think of to cheers to. Chelsea reminded me this morning of maybe the one who introduced me to real estate 40 years ago when I was 15 and learned about starting about real estate and also a second family to me, the Mosley family that I've known for over 40 years. And that's how I got into real estate because they were in real estate and that's how I learned about getting into real estate. So
I love that.
Oh, that's so neat. Such a young
That
age.
really stuck with her at 15. She was like, Yep.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. It was truly a pleasure in celebration of moms and family.
Yes.
It's a good time for us to talk about this. We just love it. We love it. If you
Thanks
will
for
do us a favor. Oh, my
we
gosh.
need to take a picture.
Oh my God, please.
Oh.
Hold one moment.
Oh, please.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, she's like, hold. Are you ready?
This was
Great.
so fun.
Oh, you're so welcome. We will send you a follow-up email when your episode. Yours is on May 6th, so you'll get an email with the link, and it'll be out that day. And thank you for
I'll
being
give you
here.
that other information as well. I know.
Okay, great.
We owe you some more
Okay.
details. So
Yes, that's fine. No rush. You have until then, so at least a week, 2. I don't know, whatever.
perfect. Thank you guys. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go to ratethispodcast.com/hustlehumbly and leave us a review or drop a comment if you're listening on Spotify.
If you have an episode topic or someone you'd like to toast on the show, please email us at team@hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Find us on social media at Hustle Humbly Podcast. Don't forget to find all of the free resources at hustlehumblypodcast.com/resources.
See you next week.